But let's dig into more thoughts on the ban list and tier list discussion tomorrow for you guys. Now, the first major thing coming out of this list is every Pendulum player right now is so happy. Alright, and I agree with you. I think that Pendulums were probably the best winner on this list. They didn't lose anything, they didn't gain anything. And with that determination and things, I really do think that Pendulum is going to be sitting as one of the best decks at this point in time. Now, that's not without saying that, the deck still doesn't have problems, because it does. But we beat the ever-living ceiling out of every other deck. Salad, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, you guys got brutally taken out back, and you got put down. Holy, that was bad. I don't think that Salad's dead. Alright, you still got 3 Cynet Mining. You still got 1 Circle, you still got 1 Gazelle, you still got 5 of them things, alright? You still got numbers and things that you can still pull out. I respect that. That's pretty okay. Like, good job. We did it. You still have some sort of variance and things that you have access to. That's what I like to see, alright? That's good. Now, Altergeist was another preemptive hit. I know everybody was like, oh my god, like, it's okay. Guys, it's okay if Multi-Faker went to 1. Alright, it's the best card the deck had. We just got Almirage with Triple Sangan. You still technically have 4 on your deck. Just kind of outside of turn 1, once the first Multi-Faker's is gone. Yikes. But they knew where they were going with that deck. They were straight putting it down at this point. They weren't in the mood to deal with that crap. So that was pretty crazy of a hit. My friends keep telling me that Altergeist will rise again. I don't know. I kind of think that deck got hit the worst out of everything. Now, into the Sky Striker department right now. Sky Striker have 1 multi-roll at this point. We still have triple engage, which means Sky Striker is still a very splashable engine in a lot of decks. I actually like how we've pretty much put the pressure on the pure deck at this point, because now 1 multi-roll means we can't really do full abuse. Opening up to kill the field spell has gotten a lot more difficult at this point. So what I've gotten out of this is absolutely Sky Striker is alive. Just more Hercules base abuse at this point to recycle a lot more of your key cards. Yes, things became a little bit harder. Yes, 1 Cosmic Cyclone will ruin your day. Same thing with 1 DD Crow. It just really depends on how they time it, but yes, it's going to hurt. Now, there's that. Now, the real winner here is me, because now I've been asked the question of, Robbie, we didn't get to see your Gadget Orcust list, pre-ban list. What's going on with that? Here's what I can tell you. The deck got unscathed. We're good to go. Alright? I'm going to probably post version 1 somewhere along the 12 Days of Christmas here. The 12 Days of Christmas series also hasn't been affected by this either, because now I can start covering more deck lists, which is something that I was looking forward to. So as a stun main, it's really funny to say that. As somebody who prefers stun and degenerate decks, 3 Solemn Judgment was a godsend to me. Alright, like, I don't think you guys understand the amount of I did earlier with my friends when I saw the list, because I'm just like, oh, so good. Now, I don't know how 3 Judgment's going to do. Obviously, I've heard talk of Sky Striker playing Triple Judgment right now. Alright, that's the good one. Alright, I think that Judgment in Sky Striker is a very good call. Honestly, it changes a lot of the way that we look at the metagame, and, preferably the way that things are going at the moment. Some sort of diligence might push the metagame to purposely change things a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see where things are going, at least in terms of Sky Striker still being massively viable outside of that in future formats. 3 Judgment does a lot, but 1 multi-roll kind of hurts a lot of things kind of present in the metagame already. So we'll have to wait and, I guess, and see how that feel kind of goes. Alright, continuing on with where we left off though. So Thunder pretty much was also another clear winner in this. Yeah, Eclipse Wyvern and Wyvern Buster and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent were pretty much checks to the BS that we had called Guard Dragons. Now, that's not without saying that the Guard Dragon engine isn't going to be abused, especially a month from now. If you've started selling your Guard Dragons shit, you're like, oh my god, this is so not worth it anymore. The Rocket Structure got called and has notified you that they'll be here in a month. So, what is it? Quick Launch plus Rocket plus the new guy, I believe it's coming out, still gets you on the B+ board for negates, because I've already had that combo inboxed to me. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, Rocket's going to be tier 1, so we haven't really lost anything. I guess players are just impulsively selling out their stuff. So, yeah, Thunder... Oh, also Pure Thunder is still very much alive. The board where you can end on Double Colossus, Titan, and I believe it's some Summer Summoner. Still very much alive. Outside of that, Thunder walks away pretty unscathed. Stun's doing pretty okay this format. My friend is now playing Trap Tricks. Now, I think that this is absolutely hilarious to me because we already had one friend want to rage quit. Actually, he rage quit the Discord call tonight because he got destroyed because Trap Trick is just a good deck. I never thought I would hear those words in my life. Hey, Robbie, what are you guys testing? Trap Trick. It's fucking doing great. That's going to be something out there, too. I also low-key think that Magical Musketeer is going to be a good deck this format. I'm not exactly sure where that one's going to go, because Caspar, Cross-Domination, and the whole toolbox that it's got going for it, pretty much unscathed by the ban list, by the way, LOL. And then, going second decks, the South shall rise again, as I like to call it. You've got Cyber Dragons that are going to be a good deck now, because going second just got a whole lot better. I think this whole format just decided to grab a Sledgehammer and destroy going first as a concept, because now you got Mech Knight, so I'm gonna be like, alright, cool, call him Abuse Go. You've got Cyber Dragon that's like, LOL, contact fuse with your board. Fucking, don't put anything great. Salad is going to be looking at you going, well, I'm 5 Gazelles the deck now. And I don't know, these going second decks definitely, I think they might have been the best power-up in the world. Outside of that, Subterror decided to walk into the room, even though they lost 1 terraforming, which doesn't really mean anything, because you minus 1 terraforming, plus 1 of this insanely good card. Who needs consistency when I could take my opponent's board and go, make boss monster? Do we still have to play the Salaman Great Violet Chimera anymore? Because I still think Salad is dead AF. Also, as a side note to every hero player out there, kudos to you. Double Stratos does things. Ferris does things. Ferris went to $10 because Ferris is good. Literally, the fact that Ferris exists now for the combo extensions, who needs 3 Destiny Hero? Oh, I'd love 3 Destiny Hero Malicious, trust me. Having my consistency raised by 2% would make life all the better. But, you know, it's okay, because we have 2 Stratos now, and I think that makes life all the better. So, 3 Solemn Judgment makes Robbie 1 happy boy. Gadget Orcust escaped the inevitable ban list hit. I don't know. Told you Rusty was the problem. Nobody believed me. Feels so good to see Rusty gone. Eclipse Wyvern was just collateral damage, though, honestly. My poor Caius Emperor prize card. Never gonna see play again. So bad. Poor guy. So, tier list tomorrow. Like I said, give me some likes on this. We'll cook that up. I still think Pendulum top 5. Danger Thunder's still very much alive. Everybody needs to get off their horse saying, oh my god, Thunder's dead. No, it's pretty much fine. I think Thunder's probably the most solid put together deck. Outside of that, you know, True Draco, Cyber Dragon, Mech Knight, all of the little band campers sitting in the back that still exists in the tier 2 category. Welcome back. Sorry, Paleo, you're still not a good deck. Alright, guys, that's all I got for this video. Like I said, comment down below, show some likes on this. We'll get that tier list discussion up for Wednesday. Or actually, it'd be for Thursday. Alright, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I ain't got no need for contraception. Put my bros before my hoes, that's no misconception. Have more money I can blow, so I'm gonna send it. New PlayStation and a whole new porn collection. That's what I got, no girl, it's a miracle. Now I'm running up the game like a clinic score. I can focus on myself, egotistical. Don't need anybody else, unconditional. You already know. Got no cheek to spend my shit. More money I can blow. I put my bros before hoes. You already know. I got a million brothers, but a bitch ain't want no more. Let's go. And all I fucking know is I got my bros, and wherever we're going, you know we own it. All I fucking know is I got my bros, and wherever we're going, I put my bros before. So we roll up to the club at 7. 6 dicks, no chicks, so we stay recycling. Bounce a biz, a piece of shit, says we need a 7. Told us that we need a chick, and she must be present. Fuck that, man, we learned our lesson. Got no worries that she's getting hella females pregnant. So we cross the street and saw she's at 7-Eleven. Back home to play a couple games of League of Legends. I put my bros before hoes. Already know. I know she spend my shit, more money I can blow. I put my bros before hoes. You already know. I got a million brothers, but a bitch ain't want no more. Let's go. And all I fucking know is I got my bros, and wherever we're going, you know we own it. All I fucking know is I got my bros, and I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich.
rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Say rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich.
chase card in this vintage Neo Genesis box.
Spinarak, Togepi, Runball, Walava.
Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh.
I don't know where I am, I don't know where you take me, I don't know where you take me. I just follow your trail and I'm losing your mind and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this longer, cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to live my way and never back to you. Ooh, now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. I don't know where I am, I don't know where you take me, I don't know where you take me. I just follow your trail and I'm losing your mind and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this longer, cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to live my way and never back to you. Ooh, now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. Let me be myself. Now you're bumping. Let me be myself.
Sometimes life can be a little messy. But with next-gen Nuvella Performance Fabric at Ashley, we've got your whole home covered. So you can get back to what you love, messes and all.
Affordable? Check. Stylish? Check. Quality? Check, check, check. And before we rush into Black Friday like some people, Furniture Row is honoring our veterans with an extra 5% off and no down payment. Plus, get 48 months no interest. The Veterans Day sale, on now at Furniture Row.
I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Smelling like Versace rich. Jay-Z and Beyonce rich. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. Diamonds on my body rich. Smelling like Versace rich. Jay-Z and Beyonce rich. I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I'm rich. Diamonds on my body rich. Smelling like Versace rich.
beautiful disaster, a reckoning. You wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you'll break your back to make me feel again.
Hey buddies, it's Dylan and welcome to my Plunder Patrol deck profile. It's been a minute. I've actually recorded this deck profile 3 times and I finally decided to record it, and this is the one that's going to get uploaded because this is post Rise of the Duelist. All the other ones were pre-Rise of the Duelist, and I decided I was going to wait until that came out to show you guys the power of this deck. Plunder Patrols, in my opinion, is such a good sleeper deck for the meta. I truly believe that it is worthy of getting a few tops in some higher events. I don't think it's tier 0, I don't think it's tier 1, but it'll make a top or 2. And that's what I like about this deck. It is a going second deck, so you have to sort of adapt to what your opponent is playing. But I personally love this deck. I love the play style. I love the artwork. Cute little pirate goblins. Sign me up. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. Actually, before we get into it, don't worry. Some of the cards in here are a bit expensive, but at the end of the video, I will show you guys a bunch of budget alternatives and different variants that you guys can play as well. Okay, now let's get into it. Okay, so the first card we have up is 3 copies of Whitebeard the Plunder Patrol Helm. This is probably one of the better, if not the best, Plunder Patrol card in the deck. So the way that it works is that during your opponent's turn, you can special summon out a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck that has the same attribute as a monster that your opponent either controls or is in their graveyard. And then when it does that, Whitebeard then equips itself to that monster. And then, if it's sent from the monster zone or the hand to the graveyard, it special summons out a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. The only issue with that second effect is that it locks you into Plunder Patrols. All of the Plunder Patrols are water type, fiends, and level 4, and some of them are tuners because there is a synchro, and we'll get more into that later. The next card is Redbeard the Plunder Patrol Métis. So Whitebeard and Redbeard were the 2 original main deck monsters that first came out for this deck. That's why one is a tuner and one is not. They both have the same first effect, which is to special summon a Plunder Patrol from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and then it equips itself to it. But this one has a different effect when it is sent from the hand or monster zone. Instead, you can target one Plunder Patrol monster you control and equip this card to it. Next, we have 3 of Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol Shipwright. This was a part of the second wave of Plunder Patrol support that came out in Echo. This one's actually really good. So if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, you can special summon it out. And if it's sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can then discard a card to draw a card. Which comes up pretty well because, as you guys saw with the other 2, they want to be sent from either the monster zone or hand. So you could summon Bluebeard, and then once Bluebeard leaves the field, you could then use its effect to discard Whitebeard and draw a card and then activate Whitebeard's effect. And next we're going to go into probably the strongest, in my opinion, of the Plunder Patrol monsters. It's pretty much tied with Whitebeard, and it's Goldenhair, the newest Plunder Patrol. And even though it says newest Plunder Patrol, she's pretty badass. And the way that she works is that you can send one other Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, and then special summon this card from your hand. And then, if she's in your graveyard, you can discard one card to special summon her, but then it locks you into Plunder Patrols. This card is so broken, it adds a lot of recurrence to the deck, which getting enough monsters on field to do all your shenanigans is what the deck originally had an issue with. That's why before Golden Hair and Bluebeard came out, you actually ran cards like the Dangers to help you get there. But now we have Golden Hair, and Golden Hair is able to summon herself out pretty much twice, which helps with a lot of your combos. So that's it for the Plunder Patrol main deck monsters. You basically just run 3 of each. You want to maximize out on all of them. Next, into the rest of the monsters, we've got 3 Mathematician. When Mathematician is normal summoned, you can send 1 level 4 lure monster from your deck to the graveyard, and the card that you always want to send is Golden Hair, because once Golden Hair is in the graveyard, you can then discard any card from your hand to special summon her. And then lastly for the monsters, it's 3 Effect Veiler. And one of the main reasons we're running Effect Veiler is because later on we're going to see a spell where it also matters what attributes are in your graveyard, and you want to have a light type just so that you can go into the Plunder Patrol ship lists. Onto the spell cards, you're going to run 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard that is with 3 R's, and this is really broken. Like, this is such a good field spell. The first effect it has is that each Plunder Patrol monster you control gains 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone. And those can add up super quickly, so you can end up giving all your monsters somewhere between 500 to 2,500 attack point boosts. It then has 2 effects. You can discard 1 card to add 1 Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, except itself. Super busted. It's basically a free search because you want to discard cards in this deck. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone, set this card, and if you do, return that target to the hand. That second effect is so good, especially when it comes to the grind game. If you end up using Whitebeard's effect to special summon a Plunder Patrol from the extra deck, Whitebeard's going to go into the spell and trap zone, and you're not going to be able to get Whitebeard's effect. But then, if you have a Shipyard in grave, you can use its effect to bounce the Whitebeard back to hand, and then you've not only got a Shipyard, but now you've got another Whitebeard ready to go. So, amazing field spell. Next, we have 3 Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. This card is pretty interesting. So it is an equip spell, and it gives a Plunder Patrol monster 500 attack, and then your opponent also cannot target it with card effects. But then it's got the second effect of you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster on the field or in the graveyard. And that goes back into why we're running Effect Veiler. It's because a lot of times you want to be summoning out Liss, which is the fusion, and Liss is a light type. So you want to make sure you have access to lights, because maybe your opponent isn't playing any lights. And then you equip the monster that was equipped with Emblem to the card. And then you can only use this effect once per turn. Next, for the last Plunder Patrol card in the spell card zone, we've got 1 Plunder Patrol Ship-Shaped Ships Shipping. This is the fusion card for the Plunder Patrols. And this card is actually really good. So if Fusion summons 1 Fiend Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or graveyard as materials. And right now there's only 1 Plunder Patrol Fusion monster, and that's Plunder Patrol Ship Liss. And then it's got a graveyard effect, which is the effect that you'll use most often, because as you guys can tell, you're very rarely actually summoning out these monsters. So its second effect is that you can banish this card from the graveyard, and then you can target 1 Plunder Patrol monster you control, and you can either equip 1 Emblem of the Plunder Patrol or 1 of any Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to that target. And that works out super well, because then you're able to get Emblem, and then Emblem will allow you to go into more fusions as well. For the rest of the spells, we've got 3 Pot of Desires. This is pretty self-explanatory. You need draw power in this deck, because so far the only draw power we've really seen is Bluebeard, and then I guess the field spell Searches. Then we've got 3 Forbidden Droplet. I know, guys, I know not everybody has access to Forbidden Droplet, but This card is really good in this deck because it sends any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard, and then you choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls, and you guys know what Droplet does. It's basically like a super powered Dark Ruler no more, and like I said, it sends cards from your hand, field to the graveyard, which means you'll be able to send your Plunder Patrol cards. And we talked about it before, you want to discard your Plunder Patrol monsters. On to the rest of the spells, we've got 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Terraforming, 1 Salvage, and 1 Triple Tactics Talent. Like I said, guys, this is a going second deck, and running the 1 Triple Tactics Talent can pretty much help you every now and then. It's basically a sack card. Hopefully you see it, and if you do, it'll probably help you win the game, because it's just absolutely busted. You don't really want to run it at 3. It's kind of a brick at 3. If you guys look at lists from the OCG, they're also not running it at 3. They choose 1 or 2, and I decided to run it at 1 because we're also playing Salvage. If you guys don't have a Triple Tactics Talent, that's totally fine. I would just suggest running a second Salvage, because Salvage is so good in this deck. It allows you to add 2 water monsters with attack points of 1500 or less from your graveyard to your hand. And guess what, guys? That's every single Plunder Patrol monster. So Salvage just lets you recur 2 of your Plunder Patrol monsters from the graveyard back to your hand, which means if you add back Golden Hair and Whitebeard, you're kind of in a really good zone, because then you can just use Golden Hair's effect to pitch Whitebeard, and then you get Whitebeard's effect again while summoning Golden Hair. That's it for the spells, and let's move on to the traps. We've got 7 traps, and only 4 of them are Plunder Patrol based. We've got 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Booty. It's a continuous trap, and this card is really good when it comes to recursion. It allows you to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and you declare an attribute, and their monster becomes that attribute until the end of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. Then you can take 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard, and you can either shuffle it back into the deck or special summon it. Yes, I know, and that's absolutely nuts. It's another form of recursion. It lets you special summon out your Plunder Patrols from the graveyard. And it really helps a lot, and allows you to also shuffle them back. So if you've got any of your extra deck monsters or you're running out, then you can just put them back in as well. Then it's got another effect where if during the end phase you don't control any Plunder Patrol monsters, you send this card to the graveyard. But that's okay, because odds are you've got Plunder Patrol monsters on the field. And then for the last trap card that is Plunder Patrol based, we've got 1 copy of Plunder Patrol Party. I think at this point I should give a huge shout out to Crush Cards. Crush Cards actually sent me some of these Plunder Patrol cards. They were able to get the packs a bit earlier than I was, and they sent me over the copies of Golden Hair and Bluebeard and Party that you see. Party allows you to draw cards equal to the number of equip cards you control plus 1. You must control a Plunder Patrol monster to do this, and then you shuffle back from your hand into the deck equal to the number of equip cards you control. So it's basically like Saryuja, except instead of drawing 4, it's based on how many equip cards you control plus 1. I guess it's sort of like Phantasme. I shouldn't have said Saryuja. It's basically Phantasme. And then it's got a second effect when it's in the graveyard, and that's if you special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck, while this card's in your graveyard, you can equip this card to that monster as an equip card, and then it gains 500 attack. That effect can only be used once per duel, and that's pretty much why we're only running 1 copy. And then to round off the deck, we've got 3 Infinite Impermanence. One of the main reasons we're running the Infinite Impermanence is because we are playing Forbidden Droplet. Since we're running Forbidden Droplet, we do want to make sure that we have a good amount of spells, traps, and monsters, just so that in a tight pinch we can send all 3 to make sure our opponent cannot respond at all to our Droplet. And that's also another reason why we're running Party, because Party pretty much just wants to go to grave to use the equip effect. Anyways, that rounds off the main deck. On to the extra deck. In the extra deck, we're running 3 Blackbeard the Plunder Patrol Captain. This is their Link 2. To summon it, you need 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol, and it's got a quick effect where you can target 1 effect monster you control, and then special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. So it's basically like Redbeard or like Whitebeard, except it's a quick effect so it can happen on either player's turn. And then once you do that, you equip the target to it and draw a card. And then you can only use that effect once per turn. The main thing to point out here is that it can be any effect monster, which means even if you have a non-Plunder Patrol card on your field, you can use it to summon out a Plunder Patrol monster, although a lot of the times that is highly not what you want to do. You definitely want to be equipping a Plunder Patrol card to the Plunder Patrol extra deck monsters. Then we're running 2 of the rest, so we're running 2 Plunder Patrol ship lists. This is the new one that also came out of Echo, and boy oh boy is Liss so good. So first, during the main phase, it's a quick effect. You can special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face-up spell and trap zone. And that's normally when they've been equipped there due to either Blackbeard or their own effect. Then, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard a Plunder Patrol card from your hand, negate the activation, and destroy it. Then, if this card was equipped with a Plunder Patrol monster at the same time, you can add another Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. This is so good. They've all 4 of the extra deck monsters. I actually shouldn't say 4. The link doesn't have any interruptions. But the other 3, the Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz, all have some sort of disruption, and I believe that Liss is definitely the best disruption out of all of it. It negates monster effects. We all know how powerful negations are in today's metagame. Then on to the Synchro, we've got Plunder Patrol ship Bran. This one's a fire type, as opposed to Liss is light type. Bran says that all other Fiend monsters you control gain 500 attack. Then its effect is you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card and target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls, then banish it. And you can add a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand. Unlike Liss, where it's basically always a quick effect or it responds to your opponent's monster effect activation, this one says that if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, it becomes a quick effect. So it's actually a speed spell 1 unless you've equipped it with a Plunder Patrol card, then it becomes a quick effect. And then we've got the Xyz Plunder Patrol ship Mork, which is dark. It requires just 2 level 4s, and it has pretty much the same effect as the Bran, except instead of targeting a spell or trap, it targets 1 effect monster your opponent controls and banishes it. I guess the only difference between Bran and Mork is that Bran then searches a Plunder Patrol monster, but Mork searches a Plunder Patrol spell or trap, and then has the same thing where if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, this effect becomes a quick effect. It's also got a secondary effect where if a Plunder Patrol card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 material instead. But I'll be honest, in my testing, very rarely are you making Mork with materials. A lot of times you're just special summoning it out with one of the other effects, mainly because if you put Xyz materials underneath Mork, you aren't getting any of the effects when you detach, because they specifically say hand or monster zone. And we've got 3 more synchros left. We've got a Bahamut, Shark, and Toad. Pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, all of the Plunder Patrols are level 4 waters, so why not run Bahamut, Shark? And then you have the Toad, and lastly, Abyss Dweller for our Xyz. Everybody knows Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller goes in and out of the meta right now. It's in, so that's why we're playing it. And then lastly, we have 3 Link monsters. I know I did Link monsters earlier, but these ones are not related to Plunder Patrols. We've got 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Almirage, and 1 Secure Gardna. So you're probably wondering why the Almirage and Secure Gardna. Almirage is a fire, Secure Gardna is a light. This allows you access to both Bran and Mork if you're using Emblem's effect. And it's not hard to get the emblem to your hand. That is it for the extra deck. And I have prepared a side deck for you guys. This isn't the perfect side deck. This is just what I feel like I would like to use. I haven't been able to use the side deck yet. I haven't been able to like go out in person and test this, but this is what I believe I would like to play. I've got 3 Artifact Sanctum. This is for when your opponent makes you go first. Like I said, Plunder Patrols is a going second deck, and inevitably your opponent will want you to go first at some point, so you're going to have Sanctums ready. Now for the artifact cards that I'm playing, I'm actually playing triple Lancia, just because Orcus and other decks like to banish right now, so it's good to run Lancia, and then I run the 1 Scythe. We all know the powerful effect of Activate Sanctum, Special Summon Scythe on your opponent at the beginning of your opponent's turn. Most decks can't really do anything after that. Then we've got 3 Nibiru. This is for when you know you're going second and you really want to double down into it. Your opponent will be like, oh, whatever it is, nothing, they want me to have monsters. No, you're going to Nibiru them, and the best part about activating Nibiru on them is that you're going to give them a light token, and when you give them the light token, that means they control a light monster, which allows you to go into Plunder Patrol ship lists. So Nibiru is super good in this deck, and then you can also either use it as a big 3k beef stick, or you can use it as link material to go into stuff like Blackbeard. Then we're running 3 Cosmic Cyclone. So the one issue that this deck has is that other than the Bran, it's got no inherent spell and trap removal. I've thought about playing Twin Twisters in the main, but I just can't really find the room, so I've decided to put the Cosmic in the side deck just in case we do go up against a deck that requires spell and trap removal. And then there's 2 cards left in the extra deck, and it is Cyber Dragon Nova and Invoked Makaba. And I think you guys can pretty much guess why these are in here. It's because of Dogmatika. Dogmatika Maximus effect will make you send from your extra deck to the graveyard. You send Nova, and then Nova effect to special summon Makaba. Then you've got a free negate on board. This is only here as long as Dogmatika is popular. Once Dogmatika is no longer around, then I'll probably be putting in more spell and trap removal, like 2 more Twin Twisters or something like that. You can also run Twin Twisters instead of Cosmic. It's just a personal preference. Twin Twisters does have the added benefit of discarding a card. I just feel that if you put in too many cards that require discards, then you end up not having a hand and you lose card advantage. Okay guys, that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about some budget alternatives and some different, I guess I should say, not techniques, but different variants on the deck that you can definitely use, and some other cards that I considered putting in, but just did not find the room for. So I'll show you guys a couple right now. First one was 3 copies of Ghost Ogre. If you guys can find the room to put this in, be my guest. Ghost Ogre is definitely a really good card right now. You can try putting it in instead of the Veiler. It is a light type, so it does run the same effect. It just all depends on the meta, whether or not you would rather have a Veiler or Ghost Ogre, because you already have Impermanence, so that's one way of looking at it. The next card that we're going to talk about is Psyframe Gear Gamma. Like I said, this deck is going second, and if you guys watch the Remote Duel Invitationals, Gamma came in pretty darn clutch during the tournament. So Gamma is a very good option to put in the deck. I was just having a hard time finding 4 slots in the main to put this in. The deck was already at like 42 cards, so if you guys can find room to put this in, just do it. Gamma's such a good card, and it's a light type. Might as well, you're already going second, so there's no reason not to do it. Then the next cards that I originally had in here, it is 3 Gen X Undyne and the 1 Gen X Controller. So Gen X Undyne, for those of you who don't know, is when this card's normal summoned, you can send 1 water monster from your deck to the graveyard as cost, and then add 1 Gen X Controller from your deck to your hand. I originally played this because Gen X Undying effect, it is cost, which means your opponent can't really negate it. and you'd send Golden Hair, and then you'd add the Gen X controller to hand, and then you'd immediately have discard fodder to summon out your Golden Hair, and then you'd have Golden Hair and this, and you'd be able to make your Blackbeard. So that was one reason I had it in, but then I had a talk with one of the other members of the Buddy Force, and we were talking about the benefits of putting in Mathematician. The only real benefit to Undyne is that it is water, and I don't have the cards with me, but there is one other card about the benefits of putting in Mathematician. The only real benefit to Undyne is that it is water, and I don't have the cards with me, but there is one other card that I was thinking about putting in, and I actually did run it for a while, but you'd only run it if you're running the Gen X engine, and that is Deep Sea Minstrel. I'll put a picture up on the screen right here. But Deep Sea Minstrel has the effect where you can discard it and a water monster from your hand, and then you can banish a card out of your opponent's hand. So it lets you rip a card out of your opponent's hand, lets you see your opponent's hand. Super good advantage, but I only really run it if I'm running the Gen X engine because I've got a boatload of water monsters to discard. Because basically, once you use one Undyne, the rest are useless, so you can always just use them as discard fodder for Minstrel. So yeah, if you guys want, that's another option that you can do, is use the Gen X engine along with Deep Sea Minstrel, and it'll allow you to look at your opponent's hand and rip a card out. And then the last thing that I've got to show you guys is, like before I said, Forbidden Droplet is a super, super expensive card. I understand that not everybody's going to have access to it, and that's why as a replacement, you've got 3 Dark Ruler No More. I'll be honest, I was using Dark Ruler No More when I was playing the deck. When I played the deck before all the Echo Sport came out, I had Dark Ruler No More in there. Before I could afford droplets, I had Dark Ruler No More in there. I was really tossing cards up in the air to see which one I would put in this deck, whether it was Droplet or Dark Ruler No More, because obviously Dark Ruler No More doesn't really have a cost. The only real cost is that your opponent doesn't take battle damage. So that's that. Honestly, it's up to you guys. I do like droplets a bit more because it gives you a bit more freedom with without it being interrupted. Like, you send spells or traps, then there's no way your opponent can negate it. And it also allows you to send cards, which, like we talked about, the Plunder Patrols want to be sent. But for sure, if you guys can't get droplets, Dark Ruler No More is a perfect example of a card that could be used instead. A very good budget option, because Dark Ruler No More aren't that expensive right now. Anyways, I'm sorry that this video was so long. I hope you guys enjoyed this real in-depth look at Plunder Patrols. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, I've filmed this about 3 or 4 times, and I just wanted to make sure I got it right for you guys. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And huge thanks to FusionGamingOnline.com for helping me get a majority of these cards. And shoutouts to Crush Cards for helping me get the rest. Anyways, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.
Here. That way you'd have different piles, so you don't have one big pile of 800 cards to look through. You go, okay, I'm looking for a hand trap. I go to my hand trap pile. If you catch my drift, because that's where I'm at right now. I just have a big pile of stuff everywhere, but I don't know.
Tradings.
How many?
3.
These are all outside of decks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have another set of trade-ins then, probably.
Yeah, they're probably in my gimmick puppets.
Or Blue Eyes, yeah.
Yeah. I think I see 4 Artifact Lancia.
So, can you do this for me real quick and separate the ones that you had so we can actually make progress here? Because I can make like 4 or 5 piles here, and this can be a lot easier for you. You just give me a second here. And then when you tell me that, I'll just tell you what pile to put them in. And then that way you don't have a big stack of like a bunch of cards, is what I'm saying. That makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to make a hand trap. I want you to make a hand trap pile, a floodgate pile, a like staple generic pile and like a side deck board breaking, you know, situational type pile. So you already know what the hand traps are, you know what the floodgates are, you know what the generic stuff is, and then like the side deck stuff, like the kaijus and stuff like that. So you can put like the kaiju stuff in a pile, you can put like the Phoenix and Unicorn in a pile, Gozen and Rivalry in a pile, and then the hand traps, you know. And then you can put like the Omega with, you can put that with generic, or you can put it with hand traps, whichever one, I suppose, because one of the main ways you're probably going to make Omegas with the Gamma. But that only works if they hand trap you on your turn. Then you Gamma them, and then you make the Omega. I'm writing these all down here, and I'm recording, so hopefully we can make some progress here. I'm going to try to...
Permanence is like hand trap, ain't it?
Yes. I didn't hear you name that, though. And then you can make a pile of Cyber Dragons, for example. But your main, you know, hopefully you can make the other piles too, like the deck piles. Then you can put the, you know, the other stuff in other piles as well. Even if it's 1 card, 2 cards, whatever. It's like that's how we will find it and that type of deal. I was literally just about to do this myself. I was like, I guess I could. Okay, so let me know when you're done with that. You can put trade in probably with like the generic cards or whatever, I guess. Like the Phoenix, Unicorn, that kind of stuff. Whatever, like however you want to do it. But I'm just telling you how I would do it. Because that way you could say, well, I don't know where this is, or whatever. But I know I'm missing this pile, or whatever. And then I could say, okay, that would be in one of these 2 main piles. That makes, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So once you're done with that, just let me know, and, you know, we'll go from there. And then next time I see you and we can actually sit down and work on this together, you'll know which cards, you know, some of the cards you definitely want to bring with you. You know, those piles we were working on. Because I know how you always are like, I don't have room for everything or whatever. It's like, well, this way you can get some of the more important stuff, at least. Do you have your deck stuff together? Like all your decks that are in progress, the ones that like you have stuff sleeved for. Like I know you have Blue Eyes and you have that Kaiba deck or whatever. And then I assume you have Gimmick Puppets.
Blue Eyes deck apart, so I probably get my invoked in there.
Yeah, I reckon that's done now. You know, without the dangers and stuff, I suppose. But I'm sure we can still make it work. Even though I think you do have the danger cards too. You still doing, like, you still have the pile, you still working on the piles there, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm looking through piles. I'm going through my.
What did you make those piles then? The, you know, the generic stuff, the, you know, all that, or I don't understand what you're doing here. It's not like I can see you.
Right now, yes, I'm making the piles as best as I can.
Okay, well, you can name stuff off. That way I can help you.
Looking through my blue eyes, I just noticed I only have 2 trade-ins in that deck.
Okay, then, well, you know where a third one is. It's right there in that other pile.
I'm gonna set my Konami stuff to the side.
Is that... Is any of that sleeved?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But at the rest of the deck, right here, with the mist port,
So when you said you found your Chronomalies, is it just literally the cards that say Chronomaly in them, or did you find any other cards with it?
found
Like any extra deck stuff, any staple spells?
extra deck, Galley Granite, Konami Crystal Product Hunt, Cybertrain Infinity, Nova, Chronomaly, Esperanza Glyph, which is the new trap. Chronomaly, this is Monster, Magella Glow. Chronomaly, I can borrow figures.
Is that a spell monster or trap? Or extra? Main deck?
Yeah, I believe so. Chronomaly Temple Trilithon, that's a continuous spell. And yeah, that's basically it. Because I think they only got two monsters for their support.
Yeah, so you still need to find like Disc, Head, Jet, Moai.
In front of me.
You didn't say those, so I didn't know that you had those. So all that stuff's together now then.
I got, let's see here, 3 Disc, 3 Jet, 3 Bones, 3 Skull, 3 Moai, 3 Carrier, 3 Sphinx, 3 Tula Guardian, 3 Colossal Head, 2 Kybrera Tree Bucket, Mind Machine 3, Mud Golem 2, Gordian Knot 3, Pyramid Eye Tablet 3, Chronomaly City Babylon 2, Chronomaly 2 Spill Rocket 3, 3 Stone Edge Methods, 3 Technology, and that's it.
Okay, but at least you know they're together now. Do you know where all your unused sleeves and whatnot are?
Oh, we sleeving these up right now?
You don't have to. I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
sleeves that aren't used.
Well, I just didn't know if you had them all like in one area, or you had, you know, if you had to find where the sleeves, some of the sleeves were. I figured we'd probably sleeve it up when we have a full deck list in front of us and whatnot. I figured now we were just kind of looking at stuff and organizing it.
I know you were bugging me about the Chronomaly stuff, so we might as well get that out of the way.
I mean, at least you know where everything is, I suppose.
Because I know the Chronomaly stuff has rose like drastically
Okay.
because, you know, MCs.